A journalist had mocked Blaze Media on Twitter and stated that they were competing with other conservative outlets and had hundreds of thousands or something like that subscribers who were each paying a certain amount each month. Blaze replied saying that they were not competing with places like the Daily Wire, but they were working together with them in order to achieve a message getting out, in order to achieve media which is diverse and different, getting their voice out. Daily Wire itself has very many subscribers, and these businesses are funded largely by their subscriptions to their websites, and they can hire their staff for those reasons. In the United Kingdom, a website called LotusEaters.com was recently set up by Cole Benjamin, who was thrown off Patreon some time ago for calling white nationalists certain names which he knew would really upset the white nationalists. And in doing that, he got banned from Patreon. But went on to Subscribestar then and also had his channel on YouTube demonetized. And because he didn't really see a future in those things, he set up his own website. He now has over 2,000 people subscribing to his website for its premium content and is hiring 2 more people to work for his company, which produces media. One of the things which services like Patreon or even Amazon currently provide is allowing people to know that their credit card details are not going to some strange third party that they can't trust. But when businesses become big enough, they can actually start to charge people for their services themselves, can set up their own website, can set up their own distribution services for things like video or podcasts or the like. The Lotus Eaters currently is number 10 on the news charts for the UK podcast for the Apple Store, at least at the time of making this video, it was around about there. What's increasingly happening with conservative media, which gets deplatformed or demonetized, is that they are creating other means of survival. They are creating subscriptions. And these subscriptions are allowing them to invest more money into the services which they provide. The difference between Cole Benjamin's Lotus Eaters podcast and his previous content is quite notable. It's a very professional production. It's something which could land up on breakfast TV. I've watched British breakfast TV and it's at least on par with that. And so this move to deplatform by Silicon Valley in America has actually had a different type of response, a different type of effect. A lot of what Blaze provides, for instance, Lauren Chen joined Blaze Media and yet also had her videos still appear on YouTube and other platforms, but would tell her subscribers to subscribe to Blaze in order to fund her. And Blaze benefits from that. And where platforms, if they had remained neutral, could have continued remaining neutral and taking money in and taking a cut out of these conservative places' profits, they're able to deal directly with their customers now as a result of it. The Wall Street Journal has a paywall. A lot of conservative papers do. But unlike papers which rely on advertising, they don't need to have as many people read. It's like pay-per-view television versus terrestrial television. And as a result, a lot more people are able to devote their time and energy to doing a specific task, to actually providing a specific type of media which their customers trust. I know I used to buy the Johannesburg Star almost daily until such point as I didn't trust it to give me both sides of the story any longer. I didn't trust it to give me the full news any longer at a certain point due to political interference with it. And I found that with most South African media organizations, when I was living in South Africa, I could not trust them to give me the real story with the news. They were so biased. They were so interested in producing a certain type of journalism. I remember watching a journalism professor saying that certain news, I think it was SABC at the time, the South African state broadcaster, don't know how to do journalism properly because they don't know how to take a side and sensationalize. And that's not really journalism. Journalism isn't taking a side and sensationalize. Yes, you have opinions, you have analysis, you give honest views, and generally you want to label it something along those lines. But journalism, if it's something which someone wants to pay for, generally needs to be something which is a product which enriches them, which is something which gives them something in their day, and isn't simply something which gets clicked on to get advertising money for Google and Facebook, who themselves are quite dangerous because they can demonetize people's pages. And with Google, some time ago, they did something quite nasty to the Federalist, where they took their adverts off of the Federalist until the Federalist made their comments unavailable on the ordinary page because people's comments on the articles of the Federalist were things that Google didn't like. And that monopoly is a dangerous monopoly, obviously, but one way to get around it for media publishers is actually to produce media and to have some premium content, some content which you see some of it and you pay for other parts of it, or even a method like Quillette, who produce very, very good articles and very, very good news and opinion on science and academia, which I quite enjoy reading. But what they do is they have their certain subscribers of theirs actually pay a monthly contribution to them, which keeps them going. And these sort of things, these contributions and these subscriptions allow these companies to grow. It allows them to go from something which is more amateur to something which is incredibly professional. You read Quillette, and it's one of the most professional news outlets you'll read. It's very, very informative and very, very intelligent. You watch the podcast of the Lotus Eaters and you compare it to the original content which Carl Benjamin was putting out, and it's a lot better. It's very professional. It's standard. And it's something which is quite amazing and something which is quite enjoyable to watch and to consume.